Hey guys, I'm gonna talk just quickly about the not yet thingy, the not yet answer that I mentioned in the previous video. Because of my past, I was very afraid to make a mistake, and I wanted God to be clear and be like, yes or no. He's the right one, yes, it's easy, or he's not the right one, no, it's complicated, and like it's not working, the door is shut pretty obviously, and I'm not trying to open it again. And that's what I had to learn. When God is shutting the door, I was always trying to open it because I wanted that relationship, and he shut the door, and I was always let me just try to open it. Maybe I shut it accidentally. You know, maybe I said something wrong and I shut it accidentally. Let me just go back in that relationship and try to see if I can fix it, because apparently I shut the door unconsciously. But when I learned, hardfire, I learned to not open what God has shut. And because of that, I always had this idea that like it's either yes or no with God. That it's always like, it's like either he's saying yes, and when he's saying yes, which I never experienced by the way, like full yes, down the line, marriage, all that. When he's saying yes, I thought it's just gonna be like quick, fast, supernatural, no barriers, no problems. You know, when it's God doing something, it's God doing something. And I still kind of do believe there's an easiness to it. It's something that it's easy when it's orchestrated by God. It's not something you strive for, it's not something you work for, it's not something you try to make it work, it's just coincidental happening, and it just makes sense when it's God orchestrating a relationship. Or on the other side, yes, I do still believe that when it's not God, he also shuts the door and you shouldn't open it again. However, I learned that also those kind of extreme ways of seeing God were actually not always true, were actually sometimes false. Because recently I experienced like God being able to say not yet, and that was not even in my mind. Like there's no such thing, that word doesn't exist. It's either yes, it's God, or no, it's not God. But sometimes God is saying not yet, and it's not just about relationship. It can be about business, it can be about calling, it can be about career, it can be about moving. God can say not yet. And when God is saying not yet, your question is, how do I prepare? If he is saying not yet, it's because there's something unfixed. There's something that needs pruning in your character, in your personality, in your mentality, in your emotions, in your career, in whatever it is. There's something that still needs to get some work done. And that's why the Holy Spirit is saying not yet. So your question is not just, oh, I'm gonna lose that person, and like why, and it should be easy, and like no, it's just because maybe it was the Holy Spirit trying to tell you that he is not ready and you're not ready. But you can and when he's saying that, you should not get attached, because you get attached, like it's over. It's over because you're gonna make your own confirmations. You're gonna feel like the Holy Spirit told you something but he didn't. Like, do not awaken love before it's time, Psalms of Solomon, because it's a dead end. If God didn't set his approval on a relationship, if God didn't say, yes, you have my blessing, go for it, then don't do it. Don't try to do it because it's not ending very well. So when God is saying not yet, you ask, how do I prepare? And when you ask, how do I prepare, he actually shows you. Maybe you need to let go of codependency. Maybe you need to like build up your finances a little bit. Maybe you need to just spend time with the Holy Spirit and be fulfilled with Him. You know, maybe you still have like some seed of some like trauma that is still there. You need to take everything out and throw it. Throw all the seeds that are left from past traumas that are causing you to have a distorted view on God and see God in a distorted way because of your traumas. God, yes, I know God. God is not bound to your traumas. He can move through them. He can speak regardless of what you've been through. It doesn't mean you're hearing God wrong, but it needs to be aligned with His word, with His logos word, whatever you're hearing, you know. So yeah. What if God is saying not yet because, and when He's saying not yet, it doesn't mean it's that person or that job, but not yet. It just do not confuse that. Do not think when He's saying not yet and the door is like kind of shut, do not think that it's that person or that job, because that's a trap. It's a trap. He's saying not yet to the thing, not to the person necessarily. So if He's saying not yet, it might be you're not yet ready for a relationship, and the relationship that I have for you, or the job that I have for you, or the business that I have for you, you're not ready. You don't know accounting, you don't know, like, there's stuff I told you to learn and you didn't learn, and you're not ready for it. You're just gonna mess it out if you start a business now, you know. Like, I told you to learn some financial skills and you didn't. Now don't pretend you're ready and you want to serve me. I told you do your pruning first, do your job first in the natural, and God is the one who says now you're ready to take the mission and take the assignment and do my will and go in that relationship and go in that job and open that business, you know. So like I said, and I always say, He's the super, I'm the natural, together we're supernatural. So you gotta do you gotta do your natural task, you gotta do your natural learning. You gotta do your, whether you learn about emotions and how to control your feelings, whether you learn about how to be submissive to your husband and how to let him lead and how to trust him and not always say an opinion, you know, you still need to learn some of that. And so you're not ready. It's not you're not ready for that guy. You're not ready for the guy that God has for you, whoever that is. So don't assign and think that God said it's him. Maybe it's a similar version of him. Like, you need to trust. Love, trust, safety. In order to feel safe with God and safe in His hands, that He's in control and He has it all figured out and planned. In order to trust that, in order to feel safe in that, you need to trust. You know, there's no safety without trust, and there's no trust without love. So intimacy with the Holy Spirit is key. The Holy Spirit, the Spirit of God. Yeah. The not yet video. Thank you guys for watching. I'm happy I'm back on YouTube, and I'll see you soon with exciting stuff. I'm working on I'm not gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you another time. But it's something in Romania. So Romania is gonna go big at some point during the next 20 years. But we'll talk about that sometime else. Okay, God bless. Bye bye.